Hello, my name is Yasla Vergara and I'm going to explain the difference between Spanish versus English vowels. In a comparison and a contrast between them, Spanish is a Romance language and a part of the Indo-European, and it's closely to Italian and Portuguese. That means that it's quite the same, like maybe they will have similar words. About Spanish as a major language, I want to say that more than 4 million persons talk Spanish, and they are located in United States, Latin America, and Spain. Spanish uses the Latin alphabet. Knowing that Spanish is a really wide language, that means that they focus on the problems that Spanish that are learning English have had. English worked on correcting them from the teacher's dictation. Beginning Spanish students may make mistakes with the English vowels as A, E, and I, because Spanish has also the same vowels, but as we know, vowels in English are different phonemes, so Spanish learners also make mistakes with consonant as H, G, R, Y, because we as Spanish speakers we say HJRJ, may also cause trouble since they have significantly different names in Spanish. And talking about names, I want to refer that they have different usages, also different sounds when they pronounce it, so it can be really confusing for Spanish that are learning English. Sometimes at the beginning of pronunciation of A, E, and I, say it in Spanish and used to do what I call speaking English in Spanish. The phonological system of Spanish is significantly different from that of English, particularly in the aspects of vowel sounds and sentences stress, because in Spanish we just have 5 vowels, but in English we have 11 vowels, and we need to be able to identify when those vowels are different. For example, when we talk about the A, we can also say it as A, like Spanish. When we talk about E, we can also say it as E or E in Spanish. So there are different situations that they change. So that's why maybe Spanish that are learning English can be confused at the beginning. If they have more time, also they can still keep in confusing. These differences are very serious obstacle to Spanish learners being able to acquire a native English speaker accent, because as I said before, that they used to speak English and Spanish because they don't want to make the stresses that are necessary to get these fluent in the English language. The length of the vowel sounds plays an important role, because in English it's so important to know the length of each vowel. As I said before, it has differences, different sounds, different, like sometimes it can say the A can sound like A, the other times it can sound like A, so we need to be able to identify when this situation is coming from the pronunciation. For example, Spanish learners may have great difficulty in pronouncing or even precising the various English vowel sounds. Specific problems include the failure to distinguish the sounds in words such as cheap, sheep, tout, tot, full, full, or car, cat, coat. So now let's see these general American vowels. So here is a small chart that is the classification of American English vowels. As we can see here, we have the vowel sounds in English, and when we talk about front, center, and back, we are referring to the position that we do the vowel sounds in our mouth, because we need to remember that when we talk about front, center, and back, we are always positioning the vowel sounds when we are speaking, because when we are going to talk in English or we are going to say a language, we need to be aware that we need to move our mouth, and maybe some languages need to stress a bit more than others, for example. So when we talk about the tone head, is how our tone, it's in which place is our tongue when we say the vowel, for example. So Spanish vowels, we have E, U, E, O, A. So here we are also comparing in which way it is, as we can see the way that it's moving the chart is the way that is the stress. Is it high or not? It is in the middle, in the back, focusing a bit in the Spanish vowels. Perhaps the single biggest pronunciation problem for Spanish speaker is that their languages does not have a distinction between short and long vowels, as I said before, because for us it's all the same sound. So because this is how our vowels works, it's okay for us. Seeing some characteristics about Spanish vowels, we have number of syllables, particularly when it comes to final consonant clusters in English. Spanish speakers can suffer from both adding extra syllables because, yes, sometimes we just cut it out. We don't think about doing the full syllable. And talking about word stress, trying to make Latin words in English match Spanish pronunciation is also true for word stress. Because when we speak Spanish, there is also more general problems that Spanish, unlike English, has pretty regular system of word stress. Sentences stress, Spanish is sometimes described as a syllable time language, basically meaning that each syllable takes up about the same amount of time. What I said before, we don't think about how many times we are saying the vowel, we just say it. So we have here the Spanish chart. We can see how, our vowels, and as I said before, I had put a chart, but if you don't understand that, you can also see in this one. And we are talking about in which position is the tongue when we talk about how mid and low, and in which part of the mouth we are in the tongue, if it's in the back, if it's in front, if it's in central. So let's go to English vowel sounds, long and short vowels. Most common variations are long and short, and with that I want to mean that there are more variation of sounds in English, like length, for example, but the most uses are long and short vowels. So these pronunciations are often determined by typographical signs. A curved sign bolts above a vowel represents short pronunciation. This is small curve up as A, E, I, O, U, and long pronunciation is indicated with a horizontal line above the vowel A, E, I, O, U. So here we have some examples. See which words have short and long vowels. We have pronunciation. We need to keep in mind that, for example, there is not just one accent, but most of the popular ones are American accent and British accent. Of 24 accent in English, and it depends of the regions, it depends of where the person are. If the person first language is Italian, for example, then the English is gonna sound different. So all those things are gonna affect the accent of the person. Using the phonetics to pronounce vowels correctly. So when we talk about phonetics, it's like an alphabet that is going to show how is the pronunciation written in the word. For example, it's a branch of linguistics that deals with how speech is produced and offers a set of written symbols that represent each base unit of sound in a language. I have put some examples here that you can see. The most important part of a word are the vowels, vocalic languages. When we talk about Spanish, but when we talk about English, the consonants are the more important. When we talk about Spanish, we just have 5 vowels, but when we talk about English, we have 11 vowel sounds. Spanish vowels that you think they sound the same, they are actually not. But English, even E and U sounds are different. Also, sometimes they may sound similar. Spanish vowels are always short as in pop. As I said before, we don't think about how short and are them. We just say it. But when we talk about English, has long and short vowels as most common variation. So for end this chart, pronouncing in Spanish requires lots of attention and lots of training. There are some persons that are from Europe that are learning Spanish. They say that they were tired of being speaking Spanish because we need to stress a lot. When we talk about English, when pronouncing English vowels, your mouth is generally more relaxed because its articulation point is usually closer to the center of your mouth. In Spanish, the sound doesn't exist. The Spanish vowels are as different as possible from each other. But when we talk about English speakers tend not to pronounce unstressed vowel or to pronounce them with a neutral sound, schwa or hesitation sound. This schwa or hesitation sound is really hard for Spanish speakers because they are so strong. But when we talk about schwa is never stressed. So it can be really hard for Spanish learners to say it as easier as obviously English learners or other languages, for example German or maybe French. I hope this presentation has been good for you, and thank you very much.